to encourage people to tell them the benefits of nuclear technology and the options they have, the addressing the issue of climate change altogether, and also the innovation. So in a way, we are covering the entire range of sustainability, if you say. So that is the main idea behind the IYN.
Living in harmony with nature has been one of the foundational guiding principles of a lifestyle, especially of India, from times immemorial. Yes, industrialization, which is also a necessary evil, has had its impact. But what has not really caught the attention of all members of the society uniformly is that there can be achieved a balance through mindful living.
That because energy is the essence of life, okay, when we live on earth, the very reason why we were born, so for our existence itself, we need to seriously work upon, if not reducing the consumption, then recycling, reducing the wastage, and also ensuring that there is an optimum utilization of energy and in a sustainable manner. That's very important.
We are on a decline. I don't know the facts. I don't know data, whether we'd be able to sustain it. So I won't be able to tell you 10 years or 20. That kind of doomsday call I can't make. But as an educator, as a human being, my assumption and the observation is that course correction was needed yesterday. It is so imperative in the way we behave towards nature. And this is a strong message for our young children in our care, entrusted to us. Let us begin with at least the children who are in our care in Shiv Nadar School.
And so this topic of nuclear energy, sustainability, is very relevant to our existence. And we need to have the correct informed information. And how amazing when we can get experts in the field to actually become the teachers and to interact and become mentors and coaches. So I think the whole platform needs changing from a school mindset where you used to go to school, get content just given to you, not even challenged the content, and all you were expected to do was perform in an exam. This is a very different paradigm where you're actually thinking more than an exam. You're thinking about your own future and possibly, as you alluded to, how can I contribute to that future, be it in your own studies, be it even in, and students will not just do formal studies, they'll be involved with startups, non-profit organisations. There'll be so many ways where they can help their community. So I think this is where schools need to change, and I think this whole boot camp on this particular topic is just a fantastic example to show the world how it could be done.
Fundamentals of what we have actually learned in the science is already the base, but an application, what lacks is the application towards nuclear industry. This is the major research we can, the students can actually dwell upon. So yes, my experience is, so that is a research, and if you actually find a solution to that, that is a technology. So research and technology, this can be coined as, basically two sides of same coin. Once you understand how things work, that can be used in any application, and that can be termed as a technology for that application.
Is to be used, there is no doubt about it. It will be need-based, and then we need to differentiate between where is need, where is comfort, and where is luxury. And I said we need to see that we minimize our requirement. We use the best possible energy efficient measures and devices. And more importantly, which I feel every day when I take a round of the school or otherwise, that we need to ensure that there's a zero waste.
That nuclear science, in the past it was there. Right now it is still there, and it is holding a very strong position even at the global level. right? So people are aware, there is recognition of nuclear science and nuclear technologies. People are aware that nuclear science has a positive application. It is being applied in many fields, whether it's medical, in the medical field, where it's being used for, like, treatment of cancers, and then radiation therapy. Then in the agricultural field, the applications are there, where the crops are being modified such that they give us more, the yield is more. So yeah, so the application of science and technology, nuclear science and technology, it is there, and right now it's holding very strong position.
Scientific awareness to me is recognizing the importance of science and education in the formation of attitude and making decisions. Now, this is where scientific awareness for me comes in education. And unfortunately, because of the rigor of academia, or because of what is really expected as an end goal, a scientific awareness is generally misconstrued.
That I think man has always thought that they are the superior species, and it is in their hands that conservation will also happen. This present COVID-19 has shown us how nature just locked us up in our houses for 15 days, and the earth was greener, the birds were happier. We need to, yes, start thinking of it, but we need to look at nature also for solutions, because at school we talk a lot about ecosophy. Ecosophy means it's the wisdom of Mother Earth. We shouldn't be
Uh, वो cross us. Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you all. There were some technical glitches. We are very sorry for that. Almost everyone has joined. I can see here. Colonel Gopal will join after 2-3 minutes. But we can start. Dilshin ma'am, Naman, um, we all can start. Dr. Manjari is here. Maybe Dr. Gopal will join after 1 or 2 minutes. Some technical glitches from Matthew's side. The code office is sorting out. So obviously there is no problem. We can shift the question of Colonel Gopal and Mr. Matthew at the end. As they join, Dilshin ma'am and Naman, please keep checking the guest list. So a very warm good morning to one and all. Over to you, Naman. You all can start now. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. On behalf of SNS and IYNS, we extend a very warm welcome to all scientists of the Indian Youth Nuclear Society, our very own Shiv Nadar Foundation, and last but not the least, our dear audience. I am Pranil Munshi, a 9th grade student of Shiv Nadar School, Noida, and one of your hosts for the day. My co-hosts for today's launch event include my fellow Carrier's technical team members. Siddhi Pillai, Rishabh, Angad Singh, Himanshi, Naman Goyal, Kabir, and Abhidya. Before we move on, let us all close our eyes and practice mindfulness. Siddhi Pillai, Rishabh, Angad Singh, Himanshi, Naman better place. The sun is undisputedly the source of life energy. But there are voluminous, intriguing, and mysterious aspects of this celestial entity, some fact and other fiction. With an objective to proliferate a wider understanding and deeper insights into our sun, we would like to welcome you to the Educational Bootcamp 2021, a collaborative effort of Shiv Nadar School and the Indian Youth Nuclear Society, the flagship month-long fun-filled cross-disciplinary science and art awareness event. Let us celebrate sun. As we talk, we must honor the late Dr. N. Ratnashri, a philosopher, a passionate astronomy stalwart, dynamic science communicator, a great mentor, and the former director of the Nehru Planetarium in New Delhi, who first envisioned the event. Since ancient times, the sun has been worshipped in different cultures, be it Apollo in mythology, or Ra for the Egyptians, or even Surya from Hinduism. One of the verses from the Rigveda loosely translates to golden ornament of the sky, seeing widely, shining as he moves forward towards his distant goal, rises up. Now the people, set into motion by the sun, pursue their goals and do their jobs. Like a falcon, he goes along, soaring up into the place where the immortals made space for him.
The sun is the source of energy of all food chains. The circadian rhythm, a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle and repeats roughly every 24 hours, is observed in plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria alike.
The sun has a great impact on the socio-economic life of people. The sun plays a vital role in human settlements and farming activities. It also influences the various weather, climatic, and seasonal changes that we experience on the planet.
In popular science fiction, the Kryptonians too get energized when the sun comes up. The radiation given off by Krypton's red sun was too weak for Kryptonians to process. Superman landed on Earth, and into the light of our younger stars, being able to take the radiation from the yellow sun and metabolize it.
The sun, as seen by scientists, is a fireball of nuclear fusion reactions, followed by radiation, wavelength, and frequency. Most parts of it still remain a mystery to them that they try to unravel. So, put on your curiosity hats and get on with us on this beautiful adventure of unpacking all that makes up this ball of hot plasma, the sun.
Scientific. I would like to welcome.
Siti, we are not able to hear you. Can you please repeat and be closer to mic? Thank you. Naman, I think there is some technical glitch from her side. Can you take it further? Naman, the same.
Sure, ma'am. I'll do it. Yes. So the sun has various philosophical, mythological, and scientific aspects. Now I would like to welcome the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Shiv Nadar University, Dr. Roop Manjari Ghosh, to shed some light on how the same can be communicated across different sections of society.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Naman. And thank you, Vinita. Thank you, Siddhi. It feels wonderful to join all of you at the launch of this second educational bootcamp, the month-long scientific awareness event. And this time on the theme, let us celebrate the sun. Nothing like talking about the sun on a cold winter morning. I just read somewhere that the only disability in life is a bad attitude. I completely agree, and the sun helps in overcoming this disability. But anyway, the sun captivates us. I mean, there's a nice introduction given already. And our studies of the sun continue to reveal details that broaden our understanding of our solar system and the universe we live in. So normally, I mean, I'm a physicist. This is not my area, but out of curiosity, whatever you read, I'll share some bits of that right now. So solar physics is the study of fundamental processes occurring in the sun. Primarily, this is related to the dynamics of plasmas, their interplay with the sun's magnetic fields, how these processes vary in different regions of the sun, from its core to the surrounding corona, and there are lots of mysteries. On the other hand, we talk about heliophysics. That's the study of the sun's influence throughout the solar system, and in particular its connection to the Earth and the Earth's extended space environment. Some of you may have read, there's a free book from NASA. It's called The Mysteries of the Sun. It's filled with all kinds of facts about the sun. I would not repeat it, they're fascinating. But as you know, what type of star is the sun? It's, in fact, though we think it's a very unique celestial body for us, it's one of trillions of stars in the universe. And that's, it's called a yellow dwarf star. This classification depends on its surface temperature. So some estimates say that there are 7 billion stars similar to the sun in the Milky Way galaxy, our galaxy alone. If this number is correct, there could be over 1 trillion stars that are roughly the same as our sun in the universe. So as you just learned in the video, the energy created by the sun's core is nuclear fusion. So this huge amount of energy is produced when 4 hydrogen nuclei are combined into 1 helium nucleus. Now, the sun is already halfway through its life at 4.5 billion years old. The sun has burnt off around half of its hydrogen stores, but it has enough left to continue burning for another, say, 5 billion years. So it will continue to burn for about 130 million years after it burns through all of its hydrogen instead of burning the helium. During this time, it will expand to such a size that it will engulf Mercury, Venus, and one day the sun will consume the Earth. When it reaches that point, we call it a red giant star. It will eventually become the size of the Earth at the stage of what we call a white dwarf. Once the sun has completed its red giant phase, it will collapse. Its huge mass will be retained, but the size, the volume would be similar to that of the Earth. So the point I'm making is, we also know the sun has a powerful magnetic field. When magnetic energy is released by the sun during magnetic storms, we get what we call solar flares, right? Which you see on Earth as sunspots. Now, these are the dark spots, etc., etc. The sun generates these solar winds, which are ejections of plasma, extremely hot charged particles that originate in the layer of the sun known as the corona. And they can travel through the solar system at 450 kilometers per second or something like that. So in my opinion, the basic awareness that may be spread is about sitting on Earth. How do we get to know so many fascinating details about the sun? What are these methods in physics? How accurate are these long distance techniques and so on and so forth? So I think that I hope you spend some time wondering, pondering and learning about that, how exactly we have progressed in physics to be able to understand what's going on up there, particularly in a hot body where you cannot really go there and do your experiments. So one feature that is poorly understood is the cycle of the sunspots. The sunspots and solar flares, they have been observed and studied by many researchers, and of late, the number fluctuates in an 11-year cycle. So a major part of the reason for all the difficulties, the difficulty of solving what we call magneto-hydrodynamic equations. And those are Navier equations because of the magnetic field and so on and so forth. And as I said, a lot of people are still working on solar physics. If you look at a popular journal from the Nature group, say Nature Astronomy, last year around July, there's a huge paper, News and Views, on tracing the origins of the solar wind with helium. So this is a current topic. It's not like we have understood everything. This year in July, the turmoil that has engulfed the solar community for decades, about which physical mechanisms are sufficient to trigger and drive solar eruptions. So these are hot current topics. It's not like we have understood everything, and much of the difficulty is really solving the equations that govern the hydrodynamics in the presence of a magnetic field in the sun. So I think there's a lot to be learned, to be done, and it's a combination of theoretical calculations with really high computing power, because otherwise you have no hope. So I just wish you best of luck in getting to see this. You know, there are lots of papers in Nature Astronomy, lots of papers in scientific reports that you'd find on solar physics that are that tell you that this is still pretty much a current topic of research. So have fun, get going, and understand the techniques that we physicists use to probe a complex object so far away like the sun. And I wish you all the best, and really thank you all for coming together on this platform for this very fun-filled event, a month-long one. Thank you, Vinita. Thank you, everybody. All the best.
So before everyone starts, can we please stop presenting the screen, and can we please pin the speaker, Dilsheen ma'am? Over to you, Naman and Rishabh. Please go with the flow. Thank you. So Naman, you can go with the flow. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, we'll just continue. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening views. Now we welcome Colonel Gopal Karunakaran, the CEO of Shiv Nadar School and Executive Director of Shiv Nadar University, to answer the question, if there were one reason why you would think the sun is crucial to you, what would that be?
Good morning. Can you hear me? I don't think you can see me because we've not been able to figure the camera. Can you, Vinita, you can? Okay, so you know, there is always the super danger of speaking after a physicist about anything under the sun, especially about the sun. Eminently unqualified, but I've always wondered why there are so many romantic stories about the moon. You know, when you fall in love, there's always the moon which comes into play, and there are songs and songs about the moon and not enough about the sun. And as a layperson, I think we can do without probably the moon, but I'm sure we cannot do without the sun. And you know, the military always taught that you should always have a plan B because a plan A can fail. I think the most wondrous thing and the most telling thing about the sun is that you probably can never have a plan B. And the other really amazing thing about the sun, the solar system, and the sky is just the wonder of life. And here's the wonder of life, which is 147 million kilometers away, getting to you in 499 seconds, the sun's rays, which gives us life. I think the sun, it's such an incredible thing for life, and it also gives us this incredible message about the environment, about preserving the sun rays come to us, because there is no plan B. There will be no life if the sun doesn't get to us. And if we don't do what we need to preserve the environment, to make sure the rays reach us the right way through all those million miles away, at that time, there will be no Earth and there will be no life on Earth. So I think let's romanticize the sun a little bit, take it away from the moon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have another follow-up question for you. So around 250 years ago, a philosopher by the name of David Hume pondered on what we now call the problem of induction. So how likely is that the sun will rise tomorrow? He pointed out there that there is no guarantee that something won't go wrong. So in the case that the sun does fail to rise the next morning, what do you think would this mean for humankind and its future?
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what I was saying in the initial remarks, that, you know, I think that question itself sums up the challenge that we have as humans. You know, we take things for granted. We take things for granted, which is 147 million kilometers away. We take things for granted that sun will always support life. And I think the point to remember is there is no plan B. And maybe the young physics students can wonder what happens if there is no moon. Probably the tides won't happen. I really don't know what will happen if there's no moon. I'm sure a lot will happen. But to the lay person, life won't exist without that sun not rising in the morning. That's for sure. So I think we've got, that's what I think the Vice Chancellor ma'am was saying. Dr. Ghosh was telling us that, the problem of environment and preserving it is the greatest challenge for your generation. And everything, whether it's physics, chemistry, management, social sciences, I think that all of them converge around this need for humanity to preserve our environment. And that conflict with industrialization and why there is a need to have the balance. The COPA 21 was is still happening and there are differences there already, but I think the challenge is incredible for humanity. So no life on Earth without the sun coming the next day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now we would like to look at a conversation between Kabir Rambert, a student of KG Corbett, and Ms. Shashi Banerjee, Director Principal Shiv Nadar School, Noida, about the sun.
Everyone, what a marvel to have everyone looking at the sun, talking about the sun. And Kabir, can you see the sun today?
Yes.
Yes, you can. It was.
I saw it when I was going in the car to school, but today there was very fog. I could see it without the brightness.
Absolutely. So I leave the sun in all its glory, about how a physicist would define it, and the composition that this great energy is all about to the physicists. But there are so many poems written on the sun, and I'd like to offer just these to all our learners, to everyone, the scientists, the artists who are here together, to probably talk about the sun, to recognize all that it means to us. It means life. But there's something very beautiful. You talk to the moon or even the sun, both will tell you it's okay to disappear when things don't go right sometimes. But it's important to come back and spread your light. Somebody called Shreya Maurya wrote this. And of course, there is a lovely poem by William Blake, a sunflower, weary of time, who countest the steps of the sun, seeking after that sweet golden clime where the traveler's journey is done, where the youth find a way with desire and the pale virgin shrouded in snow arise from their graves and aspire where my sunflower wishes to go. It's the philosophy of life. And Kabir, just as you mentioned in the morning, the sun is an orange little boat, a dinghy, sailing across a calm sea. It is a gold coin dropped down a drain in heaven. The sun is a yellow beach ball kicked high into the summer sky. Like that. It is a red thumbprint on a sheet of pale blue paper, like what you're wearing. The sun is a milk bottle's gold top floating in a puddle.
Thank you, ma'am. So we would now like to invite the last year's participants to share their experience of last year's bootcamp and their expectations for this year.
Hello, I'm Pranil Munshi, your host for today's launch event and a participant of EBC 2020. Last year's EBC was called Energy Bootcamp, and it was organized for students to experience the fear to fascination of nuclear science. My favorite part of last year's EBC was the sessions organized by Mr. Nikhilesh Iyer regarding various nuclear and scientific phenomena. These sessions were really interesting, and I hope to see them this year as well, with more engaging and fun experiments organized by students from all 5 campuses.
Naman, we have Shambhavi here. She is last year winner. So if we can ask that what is her expectation for this year? Shambhavi from Bulandsahar, from Sitapur Vidyagyan. Can you please speak? Your time is for 30 to 40 seconds. Shambhavi? I think there is some technical glitch from Sitapur side. So you can go ahead, Pranil and Naman, for the next speaker.
We would now like to show you a short compilation of a few thoughts of some of our leaders and academics on what the sun means to them.
We cannot hear it, so we can display this later on if there is some technical glitch, and you can go ahead with Achal and others. Over to you, Dilshin ma'am. So you can sort it out. We can display it at end.
So here we also have a senior with us. I remember that he and his team of students were greatly involved in Energy Boot Camp 2020. We would love to hear about his experience of last year.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So I clearly remember, the experiences are still vivid in my mind, and how nice it was to be a part of this energy boot camp. So first of all, I'd like to start by how it was a unique platform for
I think there is some problem at his end, so we can wait. We can wait. He will rejoin. We can go with the flow, and once he comes back, we'll ask him. Over to you, Naman and Pranil.
Angad will go next. So now I would like to invite Ms. Suhaina, the General Manager of IYNS, and Ms. Dilshin, our Technical Team Lead and a Science Educator from Shiv Nadar School, Noida, to tell us a bit about the activities planned for the students during this month-long event.
Because some reason General Manager is not able to join IYNS, I would like Dr. Nitendra to speak about X Factor, and then probably Dilshin ma'am can tell about other things. Over to you, Dr. Nitendra. I think you are on mute, Dr. Nitendra.
Dr. Nitendra is...
Okay, no problem. Dilshin ma'am, you can take it further, and time limit is 1 minute, so you can just display this and show everything. Thank you. Yes. Over to you, Dilshin ma'am.
So, hello dear students. This event will have a lot of fun activities for all of you, which will be centered around the sun. If you look at the Carriers website, when you click here, you will be redirected to the website of IYNS. Here you can see all the posters regarding all the event details. What's in it for our younger budding scientists is a lot of poster making competitions, creative art competitions, doodles and memes, where you will get to integrate all your where you will get to integrate your arts with sciences and get out your creative juices and run a beautiful presentation of how you think about the sun, on what are various things that excite you about the sun. What is also here for our senior grades is grades 9 and above, right up to university. Students will be students can participate in a competition called Project X. Now, this is quite revolutionary, I would say, because it is an innovative research project and invites out of the box thinking in scientific research from students. And this competition is open for all students starting standard 9 and above. You will also have certain sessions during the course of this month where you will be interacting with experts and learning how to write technical research papers. And the winners of this competition will be declared on the last day of the 3-day main event in December. I would now like Dr. Nitendra to add his views on the same.
Thank you, Dalshin. A very good morning to all of you. It is again a pleasure on the 7th edition of Educational Bootcamp and 2nd edition at SNS. I am quite pleased to say, like, this is for the first time we are continuing consecutively with one school, and it feels amazing. So many congrats to entire SNS team. And as you have mentioned, there are so many engagements which we have planned this year as well. And as all the senior members have already mentioned this, like, sun is a very something which we see every day, but how much we observe is the concern, and that's where we are focusing this year. So all these activities are quite interesting, and all these details has been shared. For me, this Project X is something very unique. So Project X is not like other research projects. The projects, this is something you will come up with your own thinking, with your own idea. So the main and critical aspect of this is, like, if you copy, you are not being working on your own thinking. So whatever originality you can think of related to any aspect, and there I want to mention, when I say any aspect, means any aspect, because in a way, whatever we are having on this planet is somewhere or directly or indirectly connected to the sun. So you don't have to worry about, like, it has to directly be connected with sun, but whatever aspect, you can follow it further. And the main idea is you have to write your thoughts in a scientific manner. And how do you do technical and scientific writing? We will be taking sessions so that you can learn, you can understand how to actually produce your thoughts, even if it is naive, even it's unique or new, but how to put it scientifically so that people can pursue it further. And the winner of this project will be not only participating in the final panel discussion, but they will also be, after the boot camp, they will also be interacting for further industry experts or the scientists who are working in those particular areas, so that they can really understand and learn what their idea could bring to the society. So that will be the main output of this particular boot camp which we are looking for. So I encourage all of you to don't limit yourself. Go wherever you want. Your thoughts can go and bring out something interesting and unique. So all the very best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitendra sir. So before we start, can we have very quickly Achals' view on last year EBC? Because we have started late because of some technical glitches. So over to you, Achal.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. I think I'm audible now. Sorry for the technical glitch. I think there was some part on my side. Okay. First of all, I'd like to begin by saying that it was a very unique platform, not only, I think, for the students of the school who were participating, but also for us college students, because it gave us a first-hand teaching experience to, like, introduce some relatively advanced topics to students who are studying in school. I still remember we were teaching topics like electromagnetic induction to, say, ninth graders. And we usually come across these topics only in 11th or 12th class in our schooling systems. So this was one thing that I found very challenging, as well as it was quite unique experience because even for us, like explaining science in the most lucid way possible and making it available to children who don't even know, like, what's going on. So first of all, making them like familiar with concepts such as these that exist around us all the time, and we are just acting as instruments to make them more handy with these concepts. So that was one thing. And secondly, it also helps us, I think, in some way or the other, even for our, say, college applications when we apply for higher studies, for example, and we get to mention such experiences in as part of our applications. I think it really makes a difference on our paths as well. So it was really a great experience, and I think we were not only limited after that, because after that, I mean, whatever idea we had in order to incorporate scientific temper among the school students, I was always in touch with Vanita ma'am, and her guidance was always there for me. So all in all, it was a great experience, and I hope this year's event as well, gives the students that real zeal for scientific temper and come up with something new and unique. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Not able to unmute.
So
Now we would like to request Mr. Matthew Ivelich, Head of Connected Learning at Shiv Nadar School, to share his thoughts on this month-long event and how this would help the students, and then close the event.
Kabir, you are not well. I can see you. Audience, please note, he was very ill, and all videos and everything he has made, and he was, in fact, yesterday he was in with doctor and hospitalized also. Kabir, do not worry, we'll take it further. Before Matthew, sir, we would like Dr. Banerjee to speak, because he is one person who really speak loud on any such cross-campus event. Over to you, Dr. Mr. Biswajit Banerjee.
So, good morning, everyone. I hope I am audible and visible also.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So very interesting topic for the boot camp, and what fascinates me about this topic is the number and figures which are associated with the study, whether it is sun, the other celestial bodies, and even the universe. And just to give a glimpse of that, what is in store for the students during this boot camp is that sun is giving huge amount of energy. And to the extent that calculation says that the energy which we get on the earth from sun in 1 hour is more than the energy which is consumed by entire world in 1 year. So just think of the figure. That is the energy which we get. And Colonel Gopal mentioned about the distance of the sun from the earth. I will not go exact. I will say it is about 15 crore kilometers away. So imagine something which is 15 crore kilometers away is giving that much energy in 1 hour, which is more than the entire population which in the world which consumes in a year. That is the scale. And in terms of size, the diameter of Earth, the students do study in their physics course, the diameter of Earth is not even 13,000 kilometers. Whereas diameter of sun is about 14 lakh kilometers. And if I want to fill in sun with earth, I will require about 1.3 million. If I say in Indian numerals, about 13 lakh earths will be required to fill the sun with earth. It is that massive, and it is at a distance of 15 crore kilometers. And this energy sun is giving us for about few billion years in the past, say about 4 to 5 billion years, and it will keep on doing so for the next 4 or 5 billion years. That is the time scale. And if I add to that, now sun is a not very big star. It's a very average size star. If we talk about our universe and the number of stars which we have got about 100 billion galaxies, and each galaxy has got 100 billion stars. So if we start thinking how big is this universe, how it is accommodating, if I put in numbers 10 to the power 22 stars, these are mind-boggling figures. It is difficult to even imagine and believe such figures. So I'm sure this is just a glimpse of what you are going to have in the boot camp, the kind of phenomena, the figures that you will come across in the boot camp. So a lot of things to study, very interesting. So happy sunfloration, I will say.
Thank you so much. Mr. Banerjee. It was really very exciting to know all these facts. Can we have Abhyuday there? And after that, Dr. Nitendra videos of Eater France should be displayed before Matthew closed the session. Over to you, Abhyuday.
Thank you so much for your wise words, Mr. Banerjee. That was very informative. Now, I had a question. I was hoping that Minambika ma'am could answer. Ma'am, if you're here, please clear my doubt. So, as a child, I always used to wonder whether the sun really rises from the east. How do we know that?
So I will say, scientifically speaking, it doesn't rise or it set. It is always there, and it is because of the rotation of Earth. It is the rotation of Earth which makes it. We say it rises in the sun, and it's related. The rotation of Earth and the position of the sun. So scientifically speaking, it never rises or never sets. It is always there.
Minambika ma'am is, I think she was there. Maybe she is not now. Thank you, Dr. Banerjee, Mr. Banerjee, for answering this. Can we have Eater France video of that few seconds of Dr. Nitin here? And after that, we'll request Matthew sir to give his view first and then close the event. Yeah. We can't hear. I think there is some technical glitch again, Dilshin ma'am. We can't hear. So while it is showing, Dr. Nitendra can speak.
Surely I can. So basically, I'm standing at the ether side, and in the background, you can see this construction. This is basically the world's first and largest fusion reactor facility, and this is like we are creating a sun here on the earth. So that's the facility which is shown in the background. And I don't remember the question exactly what was it, but what we are trying to do at ether is like as Mr. Banerjee has already mentioned, that we are receiving a lot of power from the sun, a lot of energy from the sun. And as Dr. Rupa Manjari has mentioned, like the main source of energy in the sun is the nuclear fusion. So what we are trying to replicate here at ether is to create that fusion and then use that fusion energy to directly convert into electricity, and then have a clean energy, carbon-free energy to available for our society. So it is first of the kind facility in the world, and that's what you will be learning more about it, and we will be having a live visit from the ether site directly during the, I don't remember exactly, on the second day of the boot camp, where the specialist and the scientists who are working there will explain you how you actually do it. And to give you few numbers, the core temperature of this hot plasma at the ether will be 50 times more the temperature of core of the sun. That's what we are trying to achieve here, so that we can have a sustainable fusion energy to get the clean source of electricity. So that's what the whole video was about. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have Minambika ma'am. Can we have 30-second her view? Because she was speaking and there was some technical glitch. She just called me and said, Minambika ma'am, over to you.
Ma'am, Minambika ma'am is not in the meeting.
Okay, so that's okay. I think she is there, but there is some problem. We'll record her view and put it on YouTube, because she was very exciting about to explain to students that how sun actually is always there. What Dr. Banerjee said, maybe we'll have one session because it's a month-long event. Why not? And for all grade 6 and all. Most important is Anju ma'am is there, because Anjuval ma'am. Can we very quickly display, can we very quickly call Miss Anjuval, who is already there in the meeting, and give her view? And the video where Anju ma'am has spoken so well will be displayed on YouTube later on. Anju ma'am, over to you. So there is some glitch again. Anju ma'am, are you there? I just got a message.
Anju ma'am is not here. Sorry.
Okay, so no problem. We can invite Matthew for giving his view, and then we will display a video of Anjuval ma'am. Over to you.
Okay, so am I here, Miss Benita?
Yes.
And look how patient we all are, because what a big topic. And, you know, this topic does draw people. It doesn't matter whether we have glitches in IT. What's exciting, we're not in a classroom. We're not having to read it out of a book. We're not studying for an exam. We're actually doing something that's quite significant in terms of our life. How important the sun is, all those big numbers, the relevance, and how important it is in today's topic that's been talked about for the last 2 weeks of climate. The sun will play a very important part in climate change, not only in the issues, but our solution. And I'm looking for you, all learners, how lucky you are to have our professors, our doctors, our guests, our college students connecting with SNS students. This is what learning's about. This is what connected learning's about. Not only are you practicing those 4 C's, which I can talk about forever, but you are really communicating and collaborating. You are doing the critical thinking in these projects, these competitions, that can be the solutions for our planet. And India is a leader. If you've been listening to the climate conference, you'll see how important India plays a part, and it's going to be a part of the solution. It already has some of the largest solar farms in the world. But we have to, as a nation and as a world, come together through you, our young people, to present these solutions. And so the sun, I think, is a very relevant topic in what we need to consider right now. So this is relevant learning. It's about our future, but it's about your future. So how exciting, again, is it to have this audience of educators with us? Miss Vanita, her team of students, to the professors and doctors from our universities and to the college students, I cannot thank you enough for making our learning rich and valuable and how it can be relevant to our students. So I look forward to the next month of this connected learning exercise. The boot camp is a fantastic event, and I am so proud that we're able to do it again. And I hope it's only the beginning of big events, more to come. Thanks to all of you. Good luck and enjoy the journey ahead. Thank you, Miss Vanita.
So there were a lot of technical glitches, and we were not able to share the videos of all principals, and obviously we will be displaying it on YouTube. So over to you, Naman, and the team of students. Thank you, everyone. So Naman, can you please close the event? And thanks a lot for all those who were able to join with a lot of technical glitches.
We would like to thank our audience and all the dignitaries that were able to join us today and the ones who were not able to due to technical issues. So yeah, this is a beginning of a month-long fun-filled event on sun. Right? So we'll be doing a lot more activities during this month. Thank you, everyone.
So can I request all the team, student and core team to stay back? And Samit sir, you can switch off the YouTube link.